This will be part 30 of Matthew, and we're going to start at Matthew 12:22, where Jesus is called a demon, and is going to also teach us what is blasphemy. So, um, I don't need to go over a lot of this, except I want to note when it says a demon-possessed man, we already have Jesus as a male with a demon. So with a demon replaces the words the possessed man, even though they have it wrong. They're using the secular word man and not, well, sorry about that. I needed to do that. That was bugging me. For he was blind and Jesus healed. I'm going to use Jesus instead of the word he. For he spake to him and saw him. Let's see, they brought him a male with a demon, for he was blind and dumb. Jesus healed him, for he spake to him and saw him. Everyone began saying, he is our son from David. Everyone, it was replacing the word all multitudes were, that is kind of all the multitudes. That's just wrong. I mean, how can all the multitudes be amazed? All and multitudes is pretty much the same thing. So, or meaning the same thing, a group of people or all the people. So what I did was I just used the word everyone, and they began saying, don't need the word amazed. Began, even though that's what they've added, I'm going to use it. And I'm changing the word to saying, he is our son from David. So at least we've got that done. And I'm trying to get this synced up so you can see what's... When our Pharisees, well, these are judges technically, but I'm not sure if I should be using, because when they're against Jesus, there's two ways of the people would be able to look at it as saying, oh, I don't have that hooked up. My color camera's not hooked up. It's where you want to say that Jesus is, or who's against Jesus? Well, those that are disbelieving. Here, they're going to call that he casts out demon as the ruler of demons. And yet you just witnessed that the people were saying, well, he's the son of David. So it means that these judges would not agree that he's a son from David. Now, are they onto another religion, or are they just against our Creator? I've always tried to refer to whether the Israelis are the ones who believe and Jews are the ones that do not believe. And most of them are onto the female goddess. I believe in her. So what I'm thinking here is can I categorize judges as just disbelievers or having this meditation sex practice? And that's been bothering me when I've gone through a few of these. So judges might get changed, maybe to priest, because I know the priests are all against them. Our leaders are against them. I could put leaders here. leaders meaning those in position of power, which would, like elders, having say over the people. But anyways, I'm just having a hard time today grasping how to sum up each of these, because it might be elders, it might be leaders, because let's see if the text is going to refer to them, as Jesus is going to refer to them as judges by defining them a little bit more when he's replying to them. This male, well, we know we can just use he. Cast out demons, as I had only Bezalel rules demons. I don't need this. We know that it's Satan, as so he cast out demons as their ruler for demons. So I'm keeping the word ruler and just needing to add those words. Now, they spoke their thoughts, so Jesus doesn't need to, it doesn't need that the text to say, Jesus, he knowing their thoughts, Jesus said, they already commented. So Jesus said, any kingdom divided against itself, or house, which needed to be changed to family, divided against itself, will not be established. That's the word stand is not the true word here. We have the word established, needing the word established. Let me see if 25. Oh, let me see if this needs to be brought down like that. Let's see. Like you got to tap here and then I got to go up. So let's see. This was 20. I was getting ahead of myself. And then we can bring it up to the top. And I want to look at the word stand. Yeah, see the word establishes here. So, yeah, I think the word, even though when you see standing, stands, and stood, there's quite a few that would indicate that's the more correct word, but itself shall not be established. Example, Jesus talking about the family being divided. Well, the son inherits the majority of the property from the father. So if it's the son and father are divided, then this establishing the inheritances will not be established. So, whoops, sorry about that. So when Jesus is talking about any kingdom divided against itself or family divided against itself will not be established. So it goes for both of those as well. Now, let's see here. Okay, it's centered. I made a few adjustments on the computer today, so I'm just making sure that things are, you can see them. If Satan cast out his, let's see if Satan cast out, well, it's his. You need the word his here. And that, if Satan casts out Satan, that isn't what Jesus, that's not truthful. Okay, how can Jesus even state that those words? This should have an apostrophe S at the end here. So I changed it to his, and I guess if I did this, like that, I guess that's more proper of the editing that I've done. He is dividing them against himself. Because Jesus is removing his blindness, which they believe was caused by a demon. And we still don't know if that's true or not, even to today, even though we know that the disease isn't what they're caused by and all that. We still don't know all the answers. So, well, let me just go on here. Then how would his kingdom be established? In other words, if Satan was telling his demons to be good, that isn't what Satan's about. Satan's always about his those who are going to be under his control are those that like deceiving, don't like the truth, don't care for our creator, onto the female goddess, many other things. They're just plain out evil type of people. So again, I don't need, we know Satan. Let's see word Satan here, if they even refer to, where am I at? Go here. Yeah, it's being the devil, like as if it's his first name. So you almost have like two first names here. Bezalel, see, name of Satan. But the only thing is Satan is titled, and that is, see, it's always used as a title over here. So, example, the devil, and you wouldn't, otherwise you would highlight, or you would capitalize the word devil, meaning his name. Devil is going to be like a title to describe Satan. So a lot of this text where they start putting in a name for Jesus as for Satan, that's just not truthful. And I don't capitalize Satan because he's a bad guy. Okay, so you'll see that I'm not using proper English for those that are new here. Whom do your brothers, and this is cast them out by. Now, here is, consequently, they will be your judges. Now, this is just added text that is stuck in the verse because it doesn't, it's kind of relaying, this verse here is actually relaying to what your brothers will cast them out by. I added the word by. Let's see. How can I? Jesus is going to say later that they are going to be judging the Israelis. So we know that, or the Israelis, whether they're or Israel's descendants. Okay. But when you have here, whom do your sons? Well, they're not their direct sons. Where Jesus is talking about here, that he has sent them out into Judah. Okay. Me. But when you don't want the mouse to work, it just does it. And then when you want the mouse to work, it doesn't. Okay. Now what we have here is the map, pretty much that's needed to explain what's going on here. We know that Jesus has been up in here a lot and through here and through Matthew so far. We've got him in this area up in here. He has not visited here, but the text is referring that he's now in Judah, because when he sent out his disciples, I'm going to say that they were already traveling down this road from up here and they're getting close. And somewhere along here, he sends out his disciples to Judah. He's trying to cover the area and announce he's here by sending them out in, when a disciple is healing, he's going to be saying, uh, by your King Jesus, who is ruler over you, to leave this person. In those words, I'm just saying that they're using Jesus's name, and even probably our Creator's name to cast out demons. But the object is that the text is referring that they're already sent out and they're already brought back together to where it's um, uh, uh, he's already that's already been known to these people, that who do your brothers cast them out by? And I needed to add the word by because uh, let's see, whom do your sons cast them out? Whom do your sons cast them out? It might have been here. That might have been the word. Cast out demons, period. By whom do you? Let me see if I've just moved. Word. Let's see. Oh boy, I thought I had a shortcut set up. No, I don't have a shortcut set up, so got to dig it out here. This would be the full text. And then I want to go all the way up 12. Oops. 26. Let me see something here. Oh, sorry about scrolling like this. Okay, 1226. Too far. Yeah, here it is. They did use the word by whom. Okay. So let me see if I should say. Yeah, I should add it here and get rid of it here. And then add it here. Then make sure I stick that here. Okay. So, a little correcting was needed here. By whom do your brothers cast them out? Okay, like I was saying, because this text is out of order, you have to understand by this sentence or this verse that they are aware that Jesus has sent his disciples out among Judah. So now I can get on to the rest of it here. Let's see, did I fully explain? Oops, had to take it out here. So did that mean I forgot to take it out here? Now, so when this is like I was trying to say, I don't know if I completed everything there. Saying how the disciples are casting out demons, but it's by whom is what Jesus is referring to. Whom are they casting out? Would they just be using our Creator's name and casting them out? There's no real anywhere in the text does Jesus explain how they are supposed to remove their illnesses or diseases or any other physical defects. But they're not really defects, are they? Our Creator makes everything perfect. So everyone is perfectly created by our Creator. I guess making them like everybody else was the way, because our Creator don't make mistakes. He created you just the way you are. And who are we to judge how our Creator made each other? So each of us. So I just wanted to point that out, that this verse is very important when it comes down to understanding how the disciples were casting out demons. Now, here it's funny because they have the word if. Now, they just witnessed Jesus, and Jesus would not use the word if. But it's so funny to see a text like this that Jesus would say, if I cast out his demons, if I cast out demons. But Jesus would be saying, I cast out his demons by his holy breath. This is just spirit. But we know that the word spirit is breath. There's a video for all this. When Jesus defines what is Holy Spirit. So by his holy breath. Now we have Jesus, I guess, defining out or defining that it is by YV. Let's see, by his holy breath. So they're actually casting out demons by using our Creator's name as commanded by Jesus. I'm commanding this demon to leave this person with the command from our Creator YB through my belief in Jesus. I'm trying to think how they would say this, because Jesus commanded them, so you need that in the order of how things are said. So maybe I didn't think through this part up here as much when I was thinking about home, because I did say that we don't have how Jesus, and here we have it. So I'm just not on top of the game today. I don't know why, but and then I needed add my kingdom. Now my kingdom from YV has come not upon you, but to you, to see that you're witnessing that Jesus is pretty much saying, you're seeing me, you're witnessing what I'm doing. I am the son from David. And this, I changed the word house to home. I'm referring to defining the differences between the words home, as that would be a person that has just the family living with them, or a house would be a larger estate that has servants. So you got to have servants' quarters. So I'm trying to say a house is for someone who's richer, and a home is more for the common person. And it's not carry off. He just takes his property, he steals his property. Then he will plunder his house. This is just a double speak, so that can be removed. And I don't see there's much here to explain the rest. I cast out his demons by his holy breath. This is oh, Jesus is saying that our Creator is speaking through him to cast out demons. I cast out his demons. That's odd. I don't. That's going to need some work. That's going to need some work. This I need to have and study this a little bit more in depth, for the simple fact that I've tried to describe what spirit is, and that is our Creator's words coming right out of your mouth, and you're not really knowing what you're saying. So it's kind of like I was saying, when it happens to me, it's kind of like I didn't say those words. So what happened? And then you find out later why it was our Creator just speaking through you. But here, Jesus is saying that when he's casting out a demon, our Creator's coming through his uh, commanding them, where it's not meaning Jesus is in command of the demons. It's very unique to study that. So that's got to be looked at. Okay, stop the scrolling wheel here. So we have this text that we've gone through right now, maybe a little longer than I should have. But yeah, okay, I didn't read any of this sentence, but I seen it down here at the bottom, and I'm kind of like, when did I go over that? No, I just skipped over it. I didn't think there's much needed there to be explained. Sometime you got to understand, I'm not going to explain every little thing. You can see what I've done, and now that you know that this is what you're supposed to do, Jesus commanded us to become wiser than the scribes, so we can enter into heaven. This here is what I'm doing, and hopefully that you'll be able to do these without me explaining every little thing here. Here it would have been, I say to you, any sin or blasphemy will be forgiven by men. But the word blasphemy here is not, when Jesus kind of continues saying it will not be forgiven. So what kind of blasphemies are there? Jesus is going to tell us what blasphemies are in the next verse here. So you can't have, they will be forgiven and then not be forgiven. You have to define blasphemy as one thing. You can't have blasphemy as two things. So I've removed the word blasphemy and just put sin can be forgiven, because that's what our Creator was set up his tent for meeting with him and the house for meeting with him was to forgive sin. But man blasphemies his soul will not be forgiven. Now here, against, see, this would have been the Spirit. These little blue spacing, I removed them hopefully to gain copyrights by not using them, but for able to be used on the screen and not have these pulled down, because I'm showing you the editing of where I'm starting from and going to. So these small ones are just small words like of, and, by, the, to, is, those type of words. So when I'm looking at them against the Spirit, so I've added the word his, and then Spirit, I could just use against him, against YV, will not be forgiven. But man blasphemy against his soul will not be forgiven. No, it needs a direction. By man's blasphemy, I need the word against here. Is, okay. But man blasphemies against, I need the word when here. The when man blasphemies against his soul, they will not be forgiven. Mm. You know, I'm kind of enjoying going over this text for the third time. I'm catching a lot of things that need to be edited into the text. This is because when I do this, I'm concentrating so much on it. But now when I'm trying to verbally go through and explain everything, these other thoughts are popping in my head that I didn't have before when I was editing it. So, oh, I need to go, well, here, blasphemy is against the soul. They will not be forgiven. Now it comes down to speaks against his soul, against his, I guess maybe against his being, his, because against him is just against. Yeah, I'm going to need his, and I'm going to put being in here. I need the word being for the simple fact that Jesus is directing it against our Creator, specifically against his being, his existence. There is a story in the Hebrew side when they're leaving Israel and they're in their Sinai that an Egyptian son was arguing with the Israeli, and he cursed our Creator. Then that was brought before Moses to find out what to do about that, because that had not been given to him as a law, what to do about that. And what they did was they stoned him to death, okay, is what our Creator told him to do. So when it's blasphemies against his being, that is, if they're cursing our Creator, that has to be here reflecting the other text, is to be as truthful as Jesus would be saying it. So, now, if Jesus says it will not be forgiven, then it says, either in this age or the age to come. There is no age to come. There's no reincarnation here or the next stage of life. Jesus has already defined it as they'll never be forgiven. Okay. So, I'm not trying to overrule Jesus when I say that, if one turns to our Creator and seeks him and does their utmost best to respect and honor and obey our Creator, I do believe then they could be forgiven. And I'm not trying to overrule Jesus here by saying that if he's saying that they will not be forgiven. We also know that our Creator is very compassionate. We're talking about forever. And he wants people to make up their own mind whether they're going to follow and obey our Creator. So if they change, I'm seeing that as what our Creator has been asking asking those who are evil to do. But if they remain the same, then yes, because of this act here, they will never be forgiven. So, okay, either make a good tree good, its fruits good, will make bad tree its fruit. Okay, this is just idiot. I don't see Jesus speaking this. Either make a tree good and its fruits good, or make a tree bad, and its fruit bad, and the tree is known for its fruit. This, you can't make a tree good. You can't make the fruit on the tree good or bad. So this is just ridiculous speaking. They try to make Jesus look so foolish, and they're actually writing text that has no meaning for the common people. A lot of this is trickery with words of having double meanings. For example, what is this fruit really? Well, if we go to the 1611 preface, you're supposed to eat a fruit every month, and that's your reward for the fellowship with the saints when you're studying the Bible. It's not to go to heaven. I mean, they literally say that you're supposed to eat a fruit every month. So this is tied to their practice. You brood of vipers. Well, if Jesus is speaking to everybody and there's only a few bad people there, they're not all that way. So how can anyone being evil, because it's not specifically, he would be specifically speaking to one person. How can anyone being evil, which is against, the word evil is meaning against our Creator, who doesn't agree with our Creator, speak of goodness? Example, in the secular world, they don't realize that they're evil, but they'll try to give people advice who are uh, following our Creator. Example, when you're looking at the laws that you live under in the secular world, um, they try to tell you what is good or bad. I mean, when you see these commercials repeated over and over, I think it's them trying to brainwash people to believe what they are or their belief for you. Example, our Creator says not, uh, in fact, our Creator says to stone and kill those who are rapists. Does that mean that you're supposed to go around, hang around with rapists because they don't put them in jail? They kind of even argue that it's the woman's fault and stuff like this, to where now you have a rapist living maybe next door. Are you supposed to be their friend? As according to secular world, yes, but according to our Creator, no. So this is what Jesus is speaking about. If about this, what is their goodness? Or Jesus speaking about the goodness of those who obey our Creator, that can't come up from a person who's evil. For from their mouth speaks of that which fills their evil heart. Um, yes, I needed to add the word evil because that's describing the person itself. Because if you don't have the word evil, it's anybody's heart. And like some people that are secular, um, do try to do good. So I'm not saying take advice from them, but Jesus is truly speaking about evil people. So needed this here, but a good man from their goodness. Now this is where Jesus is specifically meaning a good as those who follow our Creator. Okay, that's kind of pretty much what I've been trying to say is speak of what the goodness is here, and of good from their goodness. And that will bring forth what is good. An evil man of treasures, what is evil? This just does not needed, for Jesus has already told us that they can't speak of goodness as the goodness understood as defined in the Hebrew side of the text. Let your words be righteous, and you will be, for by your words you will be judged. Yeah, this is the only thing that needs to be spoke or talked about here. Let your words be justified. It's not justified. Righteousness, like I've said before, are those who obey. You got to understand, a lot of these words I'm using, you just can't go to a secular dictionary, look up and say, this is the meaning for this text here in this verse. You must understand that the words always being used here are specifically tied to what our Creator is has defined or the intent of the word is to be related to our Creator at all times. So let your words be righteous or truthful, for by your words you will be judged, not condemned, because people are going to be judging you, not just condemning you. They could say, hey, if you're using righteous words, then people say, yes, that's good, or I'm condemning you. See, to condemn, you need to have a judgment call first. So that's why I'm using the word judge and not condemned. All this is going to be removed. We want to see a sign. We want to see a sign from you. And Jesus is saying an evil, and they're adulterous. So now you know that they were, a lot of people at that time were like today, don't care whether they're married or not, don't understand the definition of the word married by the definition of the Hebrew text. So it says generation craves, meaning they want to see a sign, yet no sign will be given. And then it says, but the sign of Jonah the prophet. Now, Jonah really wasn't a prophet. In fact, let me look here. I think when I went over Jonah that I did not use Jonah at all. I rejected everything from Jonah because Jonah is going outside of Israel. They would not have understood this. And when it's talking about 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of Jesus, knows that the word day means daylight and night. And Jesus was never in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights, because it says, Son from man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Well, Jesus wouldn't be using the words, he would just say 3 days. But he was never buried before he rose. When we get into Luke, you will find that the words will be that on the day of preparation, which means that when they were preparing the meal, that day, it was that early morning that Jesus was arrested and taken to Pilate and crucified. Then the next day, the first day of the year, which would have been the Passover, which would have been fallen at night, at twilight, that day, that the day before. I hope you understand what a day is, because it was like the next morning when Mary and I believe Joseph would have went to the tomb of Jesus, to lay more. They were using herbs or spices to repel insects from climbing all over the body. Because, like I said, they wrapped the body up and laid them on a tomb in the tombs, where there would be many of these tombs or places where they would lay out a body, that they knew that sometimes the body, the person was not dead, even though all signs showed there was dead. In fact, that's why today you have to have a doctor pronounce you dead. Because when you watch the video when I describe what tombs are, I get into this a lot. more, but Jesus was never there because the next morning they went to lay these herbs or spices to keep the bugs away from the body in case Jesus did not die on a cross. But the object is when they went there, he was already gone. So this is just all false. This is all false text. So Jesus would have never said this. Jesus does not prophesy falsely. So now this is the end of the text here. And that's what it's going to look like. And went 50 minutes. That's a little long on this one.